We're back on the ICT podcast talking to these incredibly fun gentlemen that put on maybe one of the greatest shows the state of Kansas, the greatest show the state of Kansas has ever had. Coach Roy Turner, as I have to lovingly refer to you as, the director of the Wichita Open, and it's benefiting KU Pediatrics. So the chair of KU Pediatrics, Dr. Brian Pate, thank you guys for being back on the ICT podcast.
Pleasure.
Absolutely.
Now, this is in preparation for the 2022 show, the Wichita Open. And Roy, you were telling me you've got some like super exciting new things going on, and you're constantly thinking about ideas. So let them fly. What's exciting about 22?
I think we've always been credited with change every year, and there's going to be changes this year. Our build is going to be a little bit different in regard to our ambassadors groups down on 17 this year. There's going to be an air-conditioned box down there for those guys. So, and I'm putting marble tables in all the bars, so it's going to be like Buckingham Palace out there.
So the guys with the hats, they can't look at you. Will they be there too? What do they call those guys?
The Royal Guard.
The Royal and the red coats, right? No. What are those hats called, Roy?
The big black furry hat, right? Yeah.
I just call them those ugly buggers.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the meme or the picture of there's a woman walking by in a very short skirt with a beautiful rump? Sorry, that's just the way it is. And this guy, they're supposed to be very stoic.
Correct.
And he is totally just, locked up. Well, the same thing I would be doing, right? Anyway, it's a great picture.
I think, I visited, obviously, London about a month ago, and the one thing I remember about those guys is everything is stoic, everything's still, but their eyes are still constantly looking around them and seeing all the pretty girls and everything else.
Yeah, well, I love that somebody actually captured that because you know what? Hey, we're human.
Right.
So there's new stuff happening, really fun stuff happening. Brian, what's something that you've been working on through this year that you and Roy are going, okay, that's going to be a cool thing that
the coolest thing that we're working on this year is spending the money that the Wichita Open gave the department last year.
Awesome.
So we are working on children's mental health crisis. We are working on building the community's pediatric cancer program. We are working at building school-based health clinics to get health care into the schools where kids don't have access to primary care. All of those things happening this year as a result of the first year of our relationship as the benefiting partner with the Wichita Open. So we just couldn't be more excited to bring our volunteers, our brand, to partner and make the Wichita Open this year as big as we can because it's benefiting the kids that we serve in the community.
Well, can we bring specifically up what you're doing in schools with primary care?
Yeah.
How did that come about? Because obviously there's a tremendous need.
Yeah. Two big drivers for that. One was through the pandemic, multidisciplinary group of people that were led by a few of our faculty at KU came together to form the Kansas COVID Work Group for Kids. And they were advocates for children's needs during the pandemic. And one of the big areas that they were active was supporting the school districts. Well, from that relationship, as the pandemic started to wind down and kids were back in school, some of the districts asked us if we would continue to maintain a presence in supporting kids' health in the schools. The second big driver was a couple of our faculty, Stephanie Kuhlman and Carrie Harris. Carrie specializes in adolescent medicine, and that's really the population that she seeks to serve. And she's always wanted to bring healthcare closer to the kids, easier to access, easier for parents. They don't have to pull their kid out of school, take off work. So we just focused on districts that wanted us to be there, responding to their need. And Hayesville is a great example. We've got a school-based clinic up in Hayesville, and it's our most active one. And we're right there in the school, and any kid in the district has access to it. And Hayesville doesn't have a lot of primary care access otherwise. So kids are signed up and seeing a primary care physician having access that they didn't have before. So we're really linking that heavily with integrated mental health services. As you guys know, through the pandemic, we really saw a crisis become really almost a catastrophe in terms of the increased rates of depression, anxiety, and suicidality in kids. So we're linking mental health services integrated with the primary care and just trying to sort of full service healthcare for those kids in those communities. So we've got one in Hayesville, we've got one in Valley Center, and we're just open to any district that wants to work with us. It's not a heavy hand from KU. We're not trying to push it into any districts, but if the districts need help with access or mental health services, then we're trying to just meet that need.
So you're providing the resource of all the doctors that you guys have in every capacity for these kids to see through KU Medicine.
Yeah, what they need. KU Wichita Pediatrics, we bring a lot of primary care. We're the region's biggest provider of Medicaid to pediatric kids and patients, excuse me. And we also anchor a number of pediatric specialties, some of which are the only ones available in the state or in the region. And so anything that those kids need, we can refer them out to our specialty physicians if they need it. But really, good primary care linked with mental health is what the majority of them need, and that's what's right there in the clinic with them. And so some of the resources from the Wichita Open last year, their gift to us, is providing the infrastructure to allow us to do that.
Well, that's why I started with you, because Roy, you put on this incredible show. It's tons of fun, and it's become such a thing in this part of the country. And as golf grows in popularity, people come out and understand that, oh, you mean this is golf? But the part that's really fun is what Brian was just talking about is, you guys have an enormous economic impact in this community, and it spreads wide, but what you benefit and the programs that you guys can then go after. Would you have a chance without the funding to do what you just talked about with your relationship with these schools, Brian?
No, we wouldn't. We've promised the Open that we're gonna invest those monies in things that we don't have another revenue stream for, and we've also promised that we're going to try to find other partners that would in-kind match or where there's aligned mission. A great example is of the school-based health work is aligning the Wichita Open gift with is it Credit Union of America?
Correct.
Yeah, Credit Union of America is a great partner of Wichita Open, and they partnered with us in that school-based health project. So these are things that without community involvement and engagement and networking, which the Wichita Open relationships have helped to create for us, in addition to the Wichita Open funds, the philanthropic funds, we wouldn't be doing these kinds of things in the community. So we're just really grateful. And I think it's important to note that we're not the only children's charity that benefits from the Wichita Open. KU Wichita Pediatrics sort of initially came on board with the Open because their philanthropic gifts to the community supporting kids was just amazing. And we wanted to be part of that too. So there's just, Roy could tell us the other charities that benefit, but it's pretty impressive.
It's not just the charities. I think we've made a mission statement that says we're going to provide for local kids charities right here in Wichita, and I think we've raised about $3 million in the last 20 years, but obviously it's increasing each and every year. But I don't think many people understood that we were a non-profit that's raising money for local charities until we got KU Pediatrics on board, when you can actually read it on our title now, Wichita Open benefiting KU Pediatrics. So everybody even feels better about going out there and having a lot of fun. And as you said, $7 million economic impact each year. Not to mention now the gifts that we'll be doing things all the 4 or 5, well, it's a week of events, and they'll all be to raise more money for the KU Pediatrics. And I know Brian's probably the best ambassador I've seen for a charity in this town, but I also think that it's we could do a charity every day, 365 days a year. But I'm very blessed to see that. My big story is I don't want to see kids leaving Wichita to go and get treatment in Tulsa or Oklahoma and everything else. These people are sick people. They need care, the kids, and the parents need help. And so Brian provides that. And I know my board and everybody goes to the tournament just thrilled to be able to have fun, make money for charity, and bring a lot of recognition to Wichita, Kansas.
Thank you so much, Roy.
And it does all that, and the fact that it is affecting the greatest need, which is these kids that.
Correct.
And you're right, Brian. Out of the pandemic, it's it happened. Okay, that's done. Now it's like, how do we attack these issues, like these kids that have been away from people for too long a time. You know, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're the most introverted or extroverted person, if you don't have a connection with a person for a long period of time, is going to negatively affect you. So thank God that you guys have done two things. You've provided the health care, and you've provided the exciting, fun recreation that comes along with that. Because, Roy, you guys have lots of kids, lots of activities for kids throughout the 10-day long celebration that is the Wichita Open.
We are very diversified in regard to golf, but we have celebrations a lot. We do a lot of private kids clinics, which is probably, as you've referred to, I've been in sports all my life, and I've given a lot of clinics, but I think the one we did last year for the kids at Wesley was probably the most moving I've ever seen. 22 kids, and I think we had 22 pros out there just one-on-one, and it was just absolutely incredible. I think anybody who was there was very moved by it, but it also, if you get a chance to come out this year, Tuesday morning, we're doing another Wesley clinic, and if you want a little inspiration in your lives, just come out and watch that, because it's just a fantastic, one of the many fantastic things we do.
It's amazing.
That's Tuesday, June 14th.
That's correct.
Well, that's Flag Day, and it also is my birthday. So
There you go.
that'll be a great time. That's the right thing that I'll be doing on my birthday, because I will be here. But Tuesday out at Crestview Country Club, not all the activities. There's a lot. I mean, you're spreading around the fun. Everything doesn't happen at Crestview.
Well, no, we do. We have the pros go down to McDonald Park, where we have a first tee program, and they just give, last year, the first tee local people who basically are inspiring kids to play golf. Our pros went down there, and they said it was the best thing they've done in all their years. And these pros are pretty damn good people. A lot of them came out of first tee programs, but to see them put the effort into a clinic like that down at McDonald, which is going to go on again this year, but it was a huge success. And we don't just stay, we're here 12 months of the year. We do events for KU Pediatrics throughout the year. And I think, one, it keeps our name out there, and two, it tells everybody the message that KU Pediatrics delivers.
That first tee program is so necessary, because it reduces the barrier to entry to golf, which again gets people more excited about, I can show up. This is something that I can do. And a kid who doesn't have either the resources or the transportation or the whatever.
Correct.
Our friend Corey Novascone, the director of the first tee program here, who's a Crestview alumni, I should kind of say. Corey, great guy, but amazing what the first tee program does. And again, it just shows you how much reach and influence other charities and other really good programs have because of the connection with the Wichita Open. Your ambassador group, Roy, you talk about these are the people that have said, fine, I'm going to put my money on the line, and I'm going to say, here, Wichita Open. And then I don't think it is an unfair exchange. I think maybe if it's an unfair exchange, it's to the Wichita Open, because these guys get a lot of incredible access throughout the year, and obviously through that 10 days of the tournament and the fun times that go on, and they're really helping you throughout that time and bringing more people in. But I mean, can you talk about some of the ambassadors that
it's not just the ambassadors, it's just what they stand for. And probably a lot of the people listening to this show don't realize that most golf tournaments have a name on them. For instance, Farmers Bureau, blah, 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 blah. Well, we lost our title sponsor in 2013, and I came up with this crazy idea that because I know this town, I wanted to create what I call now the Ambassador Club. Last year in 21, we were at 38. This year we have 50 ambassadors.
Holy cow.
And these guys are some of the greatest guys in our community. They have the same philosophy. They want to make this town big. And if one of them goes away, it's not like losing one sponsor. We can replace them. We've got people on standby. We closed it off at 50. But these guys want to do something for our community, and they've chosen our particular event to support the community in that way. And there's a lot of community leaders out there, and if you come out to the tournament this year and see guys in a very all in the same color shirt, just say thank you, because they're the ones who've currently financially backed this thing to make now the best event on our tour, and the PGA and nobody else could believe that anybody else could do it, but I know this town and I knew they could do it, and these guys are an inspiration to me and Brian and what we do, seeing their support, having fun doing it, and it's an ideal situation for us.
It's an amazing group of individuals. KU started out as an ambassador in our relationship with the Open, and I guess I was expecting to find a room full of people that were inspired about the Open and about golf. And what I realized really quickly is that's a room of people that are there for Wichita through the Open and through golf. And it's a diverse group of people who care so much about the community and the health of the community financially and physically. And the reception that we have gotten from the ambassadors, becoming the benefiting partner, has been just over the top. It feels so good to feel that support from them, but then also to communicate to them, listen, if you want to know about children's health issues, we'll let you know about those things, and we want to hear from you, what your constituencies need from us to take better care of kids. So I hope we're building a little bit of a relationship and a dialogue around children's health care, and not just a transactional kind of a relationship where they're gracious with their money and we're building programs. We want them to become informed and let us know what they think the kids of the community need.
I think one of the we meet with this group once a month. We get like a 90% turnout at every breakfast, and then get bored to death listening to me talk. But I think one of the things that I have found with this group, we actually bring Brian to the table to tell these people exactly where the money's going. It's not going to some corporation in New York or anything else. It's staying right here in our community. And then he actually identifies where the money is going. So every charity we go to, like the YMCA, they come and tell us exactly where this money is going. They love that. I mean, that's what they want to hear. They don't want to hear about, just write a check for this. And so they're inspired by knowing where our money that we raise goes to. They're inspired by seeing how Wichita now is on the professional golf map because of our tournament, and I've complained about many years in this town. People sit around and bitch. They just complain about, there's nothing to do here, blah blah blah. And I've always complained to stick your chest out and be proud of this town. We're a great community to live in and everything else, and this is what the ambassadors represent, and this is what this tournament represents. We're proud of our event. We get national acclaim for it. And so I think everybody should do that, not only with our tournament, but on Wichita, period.
No question about it. And you've given the entree for that conversation to happen around that. And that's what's, I think, so important about it. And it isn't the old East-West argument,
correct?
Or it's a totally inclusive, all of Wichita and the surrounding areas. I mean, Brian, the areas you were talking about, Hayesville and Valley Center, that's way north and way south Wichita. So I mean, this is all across the greater Wichita area that this tournament connects people.
If I may add, we do it. WSU does a survey for us each and every year, and we obviously use the stats as to what we're going to do the next year. But right now, our golf tournament, 38% of the people there are female. So
wow.
That's my point is, it's an event. It's not just a golf event. It's an event where you go out and see people every year. You remember them. Everybody knows everybody. And obviously, the ladies enjoy going out there as well. So we're very proud of the diverse audience that we capture and bring. But it is basically the Wichita community, and that's who people get out there and watch.
Well, let's see if we can impact that percentage, and maybe we can get it to closer to 50-50 or higher. Women, come out, get your golf dues on, come hang out. This is an awesome place, and there's tons of different things to to tickle your fancy, so to speak. And it's not just the tournament side of it.
Correct.
There's all the other kinds of things that go on. So Tuesday is when the clinic is, where the kids from Wesley, these are sick kids, and each pro is paired up with one of them. And now that doesn't happen at Crestview, though.
Actually, it does.
That one does happen out on the grounds.
We have a special facility just for this clinic and so forth. And excuse me.
No problem.
The guys involved are just amazing. The golfers, they're into it. They know the kids are from Wesley. They know what they're doing for people. And golf is now being used in many areas. And I must tell you that this year we're making a big stand to support the military and thank the military. And so all our efforts this year are going to be really focused on the military. We put together we're not just giving them a ticket. We're giving them fine dining, food, social drinks, or whatever. We're going to have a big board at the entrance this year, which I would like everybody just to say thank you to the veterans for what you've done for my country. And some of this has really come home to me, is just how much these people do for our country, or have done for our country. And some of them don't talk about it very much, but I think it's time we recognize those people. We've even got a pro-am team this year that's going to be nothing but veterans, 4 players. We're going to make a big deal of it. We're going to tee off at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, the first tee time in our pro-am. And we want to bring focus and attention to more people to say thank you to these wonderful people who've served our country. And we're very proud of it. We've got a lot of different ideas going on. But I did not know how many veterans until I talked to them that they were veterans. And I don't know whether you've got a relation, a parent, who's been in battle before, but they never seem to talk about it. And I think there's obviously a lot of problems they have after combat and so forth. And so we're very proud this year to be recognized in the military in a big way, and I think that'll be very evident if you come to the tournament.
Yeah, and this town has always respected our military, and I mean we have an important role in this part of the country for defending our borders. And it's primarily cybersecurity right now, which that's the border that has no border, right? And it's something that affects every one of us. And McConnell Air Force Base is kind of leading in that space. And so that's incredibly wonderful that you're going to take this group of incredible veterans and support them and love them and give them all the things that they deserve.
We're going to try. We don't know whether we're doing it yet, but what is it? The 13th, the bang. They do something for 1 o'clock, 13 hours, and they have the. You guys might not.
Let's Google it, Christopher.
No, what's it called? My office will call me right away. How come you forgot that? But it's basically 13 bongs or 13 whatever.
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Okay.
But you've out-innovated yourself.
Okay.
All I can think of is the 21 gun salute, but I know that's probably, we're not. It's 13.
So we're doing something at 1 o'clock at every day on 18 and on 17, and we'll be recognizing them. And with this, I'm sure somebody's going to call me any minute and say, this is what it is, but it's unique, and we're going to do that on a daily basis to recognize our military and what they've done for us.
Fantastic. Throughout the week. So each day there is a moment for us to say thank you and we appreciate you. I don't know that I've ever seen that done at an event. So that's obviously when we stand and we rise and we say the national anthem, we always say a special thank you to our veterans with a flyover or something, but doing that every single day at 1 o'clock, that's phenomenal. Yeah. Is there a flag raising ceremony?
We have and you've perhaps seen this in the golf tournament on our 18th. Obviously, we'll have the national flag there, and each day we'll have a color guard that whenever the golfers come off, they give it to the service person, who then puts it back in the hole afterwards. So we're doing an awful lot of that.
That's
you
outstanding.
may have seen national, and but you will recognize it, and we'll feel good about it that we're honoring the military this year as it should be.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because when the players come off and you see that where there's a military, and they're taking their hat off, it's just this moment of gratitude from both sides. You know, the veteran who goes, wow, this is a really neat experience. I'm this close to the action of a professional golf tournament. And then the golfer who's going, like, what I do is play a game, and you've risked your life for my safety and freedom so I can play this game. So, man, that's incredible, Roy. Are you excited about anything this year that you've never done before, or maybe nervous is a better word?
Nervous is one word, because this is a golf course. It's not meant for 52,000 people. And we are just amazed this year. We had a lot of people last year, but we've already broken all records of sales, everything else. And so I always have to worry about where we're going to park people, how we're going to take care of them. Nice problem to have, a lot of people say, but some people get put off when they say, I'm sorry, you can't park here. And so we're going through those things to accommodate the wonderful turnout we get, but it does cause problems for us, making sure that everybody's time out there is enjoyable.
Well, but infrastructure-wise, that's a problem no matter where or when you go. And I thought you guys have handled all the signage that you do that's on the roads everywhere, and it's probably already out, or at least going up within the next week or so.
Next Monday.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Wow.
That's hey, we're gonna drop this next Monday, so that's perfect timing on that. But it's so easy and accessible to get to the golf course, because you can park. Yeah, you're going to park a mile away, but you guys have shuttle services that are constantly. People are not waiting around. And it's way easier, by the way, guys, when you can park your car somewhere else and let the shuttle guys take care of it. Because if you have a beer on 17, now you can sort of saunter back to the shuttle, and then you're fine.
Yeah, and
we're very grateful to Beechcraft, and they're a wonderful ambassador for this community, and they gave us the parking spots down there. And our shuttles coming back and forth, you never wait. And obviously they deliver you right to the front gate. And so it's very convenient for everybody to come out there. We do spend a lot of time, but those shuttles are so great that honestly, you won't be waiting more than a couple of minutes to get on one, and then it makes it very easy for you to go in. 13 bells.
13 bells. Okay.
All right.
I got it.
Yeah.
By the magic of, well, thank you, Debbie, I'm guessing, right?
Debbie or Jacob?
Easy, guys.
No, it's Roy. Come on, Roy. You've always been good about giving everybody else credit. But actually, you should say a shout out to, since your days at the Wichita Wings, running that organization, Debbie's been with you. That's impressive, People don't have 30-year careers like that.
Well, she's been a very key part of everything I've done with the Wings and the Open, and everybody at this table knows who she is, and a lot of people, she's the best secretary I've ever worked for, but she's not a secretary, by the way, she's an assistant, but she does a fabulous job, and I think what we've all got in our staff is a passion for this community, passion for this golf tournament, and I think that carries around, and it's the passion of the event that makes it so important to us.
It's a class act. The working with the team at the Wichita Open has always been it's just a bunch of professionals. I started calling Roy Coach again, and I won't stop calling him Coach because I realize that's what he's doing. He does it. It's what he's doing every day. He's coaching his team, and he's role modeling professionalism and excellence, and setting the bar high, setting expectations high. I'm probably going to run laps or do push-ups for being late today. I don't know what it's going to be, but no, they're all a class act, and one of the great joys of the partnership has been working more closely with Roy and his team.
Well, Roy gets to do one of the coolest things as the director of a golf tournament, and that's give out anybody who knows for a professional golf tournament when it's an invitational, and that's what this technically is.
That's correct.
You can give out a special invitation, an exemption, I believe, for a couple of players, right? And these are, players that maybe have a relationship with the community, or a player that somebody says, hey, can you give this guy a shot? And the professional golf it's so difficult. I mean, these guys are unbelievable at hitting this little white ball and controlling it through all these different circumstances. But Roy, you have a really cool exemption this year, and it's a connection to our days when I was cheering in the stands for Mr. Chico Borja, God rest his soul.
Correct. And we did a memorial ceremony for Chico, God bless him, and his passing. But this year we've been very fortunate enough. His son is a professional golfer, a very good professional golfer. And we saw fit to give an exemption to Pete Borja this year.
Wow.
So for you Wings fans, if you want to come out and see Petey and say hi to him and give him all the help he can, but he's going to be one of our 4 exemptions. Another one is a local pastor, Mr. Gannon. His son Luke Gannon will be playing this year.
Wow.
And Mr. Gannon preaches at the church just very, very close to Crestview Country Club. So we got a lot of locals, if you will, people who know this town, represent this town in other areas. But Mr. Borja and Mr. Gannon this year will bring an awful lot of that local flavor. And if you're interested in seeing Chico's son play golf, please come on out and watch him.
Yeah, and where now? This will test my knowledge. Was he number 5?
Huh?
Was Chico number 5?
No,
6.
correct.
I was. Hey man, give me a little credit.
I love that Coach
literally
knows.
just comes out of my. I remember seeing that orange and blue striped and Borja on the back, and it's numbers. I knew it was either 5 or 6. Anyway, so wear your number 6 jerseys, folks.
There
They're
you
out
go.
Wow.
There you go.
there. Come on out.
Yeah.
And
How
it's-
cool would that
it's
be?
Petey Borja.
Correct.
That's so-
It's spelled
Yeah.
Piri, but the name is Petey.
That's so cool. And he was on the South American PGA Tour.
That's correct. And he also this year qualified at what we call Q School, where all these players come through. But when they get through Q School, there's about 250 of them, they get a number, but only like the top 100 get into events. So his number will not quite get him into these events. So that's why we offered Petey the exemption. And I'm very thrilled to have him here, and I think everybody's going to have a lot of times. Don't put him off too much. He's trying to win some money out there, but I'm sure he'll be very grateful. He was born in Wichita, actually. So,
Wow.
Oh, no kidding. Man, that's awesome.
So cool.
it'll be a great story, and I can't wait to see him.
Well, and I have to bring up one more, and this isn't an exemption. This is just a close family relationship. The Stevens family,
Correct.
Stevens with an S, not Steven without the S. The Stevens family is probably the golfing family in
Without
Kansas.
question.
And the patriarch, Grandpa Nick, loved athletics, loved sport more than anything, and would oftentimes give money totally anonymously so kids could play basketball or baseball or whatever. He just thought sport was so important for the development. And this is a Lebanese family first off the boat, and that he saw the opportunity that existed in Wichita, Kansas, entrepreneurially and in sport. Anyway, his great-grandson, I believe that's right. That's correct. No, it would be his great-grandson, Sam Stevens, is qualified for this tournament.
Correct.
And he and Petey Borja were on the
Both
same
on it.
tour in South
America.
America. And Sam made his way up, and Sam has played this golf course once or twice, so it's going to be super fun. What I'm getting at, audience, is you've got to come out. There's a lot of interest and intrigue
Correct.
every year. This one has even a little bit more, and it's fun to follow somebody that has a story. So if you're out at a KornFerry tour and you're not noticing a lot of the names, it's because these are the up-and-coming next best that you will see at the big tour, the champion.
Scotty Scheffler was here in 19.
What's that?
Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, Scotty Scheffler was here in 2019.
In 2019, he finished 7th. And the people who played in the Pro-Am obviously will remember him for the rest of their lives. Great guy. But they've all played here. And just a note on the Stevens family that I believe he's shot a 58 once at Crestview Country
I
Club.
believe that's true. From
So
as
he's
far
primed.
back as you go.
So he was. And I got another update.
Oh, I love it.
We're playing taps at 1300 to honor the fallen. So
Wow.
they're making big.
That's emotional.
That's awesome.
So that'll be cool every day. 1 o'clock is 1300. Is that correct? Military terms.
That is.
At 1,300 hours.
1,300 hours.
So I'll, and that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Actually,
Friday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of
Okay.
tournament.
Okay, it's tournament time. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's that makes sense. But so I wonder, will the players stop then and recognize that, or how's that going to work?
We'll choose the moment when it's not bothering the players. So therefore, when there's a little gap there, it'll be in a 10-minute window, so we don't disturb the players. And I'm sure those players will be just a great part of it anyway, and recognize the fallen off.
That's the part. That's the part about a golf tournament that you create your own culture, which is what you've done here with the Wichita Open, and in fact, 17 is from the culture of borrowed from the culture at the Phoenix Open.
Stolen.
Which is great. All great ideas are. And by the way, this podcast started as an entrepreneurial podcast, and that's what entrepreneurs do. I mean, the first guy that was on, not the first, but in the first 5 episodes of this, he said, I want to figure out how to sell books better than anybody else. So he went around to all the bookstores and was literally measuring the bookshelves and how they put a store together. Guess what? He's still in business today, and the rest of those Walden books, you ever heard of that one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not in business anymore. And his business is still around. But the point is, you steal good ideas and you can just make them better. And so the culture of the Wichita Open, it's not bothering the players. They love it. They go, we get to go to Wichita, and 17, we know we're going to get this raucous coming on in, and if we hit a good shot, it's going to be great. If we hit a bad shot, somebody's going to say something, and that's fun. Yeah. But then I think at 1 o'clock or 1300 hours, I think that's also going to be something that will make every player want to come back.
Correct.
And compete at the highest level. So the guy who won last year, was it Hall?
Yeah, Harry Hall.
Harry Hall. From your country.
Exactly.
From your home country, I
Same as my dad's name, Harry.
Is that right?
No, he's a great guy. I mean, I think he might be coming back again this year, but he does have some status on the PGA, but I think he's coming back again this year. I hope he's coming back again this year because he's a really nice guy, and I don't know whether you get to meet him or not, but he's just a genuine down-home good boy.
Yeah.
Do you find that? Because you guys have both met a lot of these players, or all these players.
Oh, they're... I was just thinking, talking about how exciting it is to see players at the tournament who you didn't expect to show up, like Pete. But the other thing that's great fun is you get connected to some of the stories that you didn't expect to find there. A player that has a great weekend or something, and then you watch them, over in the next year as their career unfolds. And I got to play in the Pro-Am with Austin Smotherman.
Correct.
And I think that was on purpose. He's a great guy. But so I've watched him. He made it to the PGA. He's been having a great year on the PGA. I'm following him on Instagram. He remembers being in Wichita. The players uniformly tell us that, they've told me anyway, that this is the most raucous and high energy event on the KornFerry Tour. They love 17. They love coming here. I think this new wrinkle of, supporting our military they're gonna absolutely love that.
I agree with you.
Yeah. They're great. The players that came out for the Wesley clinic that Roy's talking about, so these are kids in the, our KU Wichita Pediatrics has partnered with Wesley Children's Hospital to build a pediatric cancer program for the region, which have never had anything like it. In fact, some of the monies from last year's tournament donation are going to go toward bringing a special certification to the cancer program here, Children's Oncology Group certification, which 90% of kids who have cancer in the United States are treated in a program that has that certification. It's a national certification. Wichita's never had one, so we're gonna honor the relationship with the Wichita Open by helping to do that with our partners at Wesley. But it makes me think back to those players that showed up for last year's event with those kids, brought kids from the cancer program, and that one-on-one clinic, and the pros were just amazing. Lots of attention. Some of those kids weren't having the best day. They weren't feeling great, but they came out anyway. And I get a little choked up just talking about it. But those pros they're just awesome young men. I think they understand the value of sports, and that there's just that connection between kids and sports. Right? Not every kid gets engaged, but those that do learn a lot about life, and through the sport. And these are young athletes who know that, and they're just so locked into the Wichita Open's relationship with kids in the community.
Very moving.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, there's going to be a champion on Sunday. The 19th, I believe, is the Sunday, the final round. So if people haven't gotten their tickets yet to come out and enjoy, what's the place that they go to right now?
Just go to our website.
WichitaOpen.com.
Correct.
WichitaOpen.com. There's all kinds of choices. You can just buy a regular general admission ticket, and then you can buy tickets for lots of different levels of incredible engagement with this fun.
Our hospitality this year, we doubled the numbers by expanding boxes and making them bigger. And we're very close to being sold out on both Friday and Saturday right now. So don't wait around. And if you want a nice Father's Day present, take your dad out there on the Sunday of Championship Sunday and celebrate Dad and celebrate the tournament.
Yeah, and don't forget about Tuesday. Don't forget about
Correct.
the Pro-Am. Don't
Correct.
forget, I mean, there's all these other events. I just took my son and my wife to a golf tournament because south of here, right about now, is a big tournament. But we went on Monday. You know why? And everyone's like, why'd you go Monday? Because nobody's there.
Yeah.
So my point is, when an event is going on, when you go to the Wichita Open on Monday, there's going to be a lot of engagement, lots of fun things to do. So if you're somebody who goes, well, I really don't understand golf or care about it, you need to come out and enjoy this event any one of these days, and choose a day that someone, the big crowds that really are there to watch the tournament play. If you choose these other days, you're probably going to come back very quickly on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But you won't have the intimidation of, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Right.
And it's just a beautiful walk. Yeah. It's a good walk spoiled. If you're playing, if you're not, it's just a good walk.
Yeah, I think also we have our kickoff party each and every year, and it's probably the biggest party in town. That's on Saturday night before the Hatchet Tee-Off Party, where all the money raised that day goes to KU Pediatrics, and it's a great event. It's nothing to do with golf. It's all about music, eating, enjoying the festivities, and it's if you're interested in having a good night and seeing a little bit about the Wichita Open to start the week is the Hatchet Tee-Off Party to benefit KU Pediatrics.
And Roy, where is that event?
That will be on the premises at the Crestview.
At Crestview as well. Okay,
Correct.
That's great. That's great. So basically, guys, for 10 days starting on June 9th, just go out to Crestview, go to the area and see what's going on, because something's happening.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Hatchets have been wonderful sponsors for this event for a very long time.
The great community players. I mean, they jumped on board, I think, 22 years ago when I first started, and have been here ever since. And it's not always been like these glory years we're having right now. There's some years when we've struggled, but they stood with us, and I can't say enough about the Hatchet family and their support for this event.
Well, the struggle years need to happen when you have been as successful as you are, because it gives the right context to how wonderful this event is, and that you didn't quit during those struggle years, and you kept persevering. And look at the results today.
When I got the idea, first of all, the biggest thing was moving to Crestview. No disrespect to Willow Bend. Crestview is a fantastic location, fantastic partners.
Absolutely.
And then I went to Phoenix and I got that idea, and I came back, I think, in 2007, and I put 2 15 by 15 tents on 17. And everybody said, what's he doing now? I didn't know the people who were in there, and I asked them to be noisy, and I had to make a lot of noise. In fact, they made a little bit too much noise. I think a couple of them got kicked out, but that was the start of building 17 to what it was now. So we basically had a 30-foot tent down there with, I'd say, 75 people. Now we have 3,500 people there every day.
Is that right?
It's
There's over
amazing.
3,000 people there.
Yeah.
And that's not a big area at all.
Yeah.
And it surrounds this difficult green on a par 3. I mean, it is a really difficult green. So it's a fun watch no matter where you are.
I agree.
I think that's true. It doesn't matter if you don't know golf, don't play golf. It is awesome live entertainment watching those caddies run down. They race down, and then the golfers hit and the crowd's reacting to those shots. And even if you don't play golf, it just takes you a little while to figure out good shots and bad shots, enjoying the crowd, and everybody's there, and there's food and drink. It's awesome. And then now is on Saturday after tournament play.
We have a little contest going on that everybody loves me for this, but we keep all the bars open, everything else, for an hour after we're amateurs.
On Saturday.
Yes, on Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Amateurs will qualify at the hatchet party to take part in an event that basically we give $2,500 away for closest to the pin, first of all, but then we have a putting contest, so they can get a car from Hatchet on 17 on Saturday afternoon, and they all can go closest to the pin. About 20 guys get out there and compete. And it's just a fun afternoon. Great to see the amateurs, and the crowd love it because I'm keeping the bars open longer.
Oh, man. Okay. So Saturday's already a big day, but I'm definitely going to go check that out. I did not know that you were going to let the crowd.
Correct.
How do you get a sporting event to be really wild? You let the crowd jump in and get involed.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It's great. It ties together Hatchet Night with the tournament play on Saturday. Correct. And I ended up actually, I was one of the amateurs that had to hit a shot into 17.
I remember.
Yeah, it was not.
What do you remember, Roy?
I remember nobody made the green.
Be nice, Coach. At least you said nobody. Thank you.
Well, actually, I want to say also thanks to Scott Hatchett and Mark Douglas, who gets behind this project. He's very big into KU Pediatrics. He supports it financially and makes it an event. And thank you to Douglas Wealth for the support.
Absolutely. They're awesome.
Well, the Wichita Open benefiting KU Pediatrics, which that is so special to see. Again, when you see a sporting event, look at who's tied to it. And yes, everybody needs title sponsors and this, that, and the other, but this is the Wichita Open benefiting KU's Kansas University Medical Pediatrics. This is beautiful what you guys have done in this community, and I'm so grateful that you continue to share this story on the ICT podcast. What else do they need to know before we drop this thing and people get excited and run out to the Wichita Open?
Just show up. Seriously, get a ticket, before there aren't any. We've talked about so many of the different angles to look in and enjoy this tournament. It really isn't about just coming out to watch golf. You're supporting the community. It's a lot of fun, right? There are just so many unique ways to enjoy the tournament. So
I just say, just come and check it out. You won't be disappointed. 94% of all my business is done by people who come as a spectator first, and then they call me up and want to be involved. So it is that good. Some of you, none of you will come out and say, what? What's all the noise about? Well, you'll see what the noise is about, and you'll have a great time seeing it.
Yeah, and no matter what you do, if you're supporting the tournament, you're supporting the health of kids in the community. So that's a pretty good 1-2 punch, I think.
Great.
Dr. Brian Pate, Coach Roy Turner, the WichitaOpen.com. Thank you guys for being on the ICT podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed.